Despanya's got our first serve of the match, and we're underway here in O'Keefe. Fyodorovic, excuse me, 27, not 21. There's a big swing as Despanya had it denied.
Kaya Gordon getting going early on. Her hands were on fully the side of Georgia Tech's team right there. Getting the clamp block and the walk back. Competitive spirit starting off.
Mambu with the swing. Maybe he gets it to go.
Yes, notice JJ, it started already with some fun volleyball. You had the first block with Gordon, and now Mambu mixing up an open spot, taking it line where she got kills 2 days ago.
It's going to be interesting, just the adjustments that everybody makes. Again, having played one another just on Wednesday and running it back here. Very unique setup in the ACC schedule. Mambu once again with another kill.
It's like deja vu. Mimi Mambu executed 5 kills, bringing her inside. Good out of transition. Suarez recognizing and communicating the set was coming in.
Diving effort here on Clemson's side. Big swing from the right hand.
Kaya Gordon going high into the hands. Again, JJ, this is the best part about knowing your teammates. So basically, this is like the 4th set you're playing. You have 3 sets you just played 2 nights ago. You've adjusted. Kaya Gordon coming up with an easy kill.
Catherine Sant long on the serve there. First service error of tonight's match. Gives serve back to Georgia Tech.
Catherine Sant, their second-year starter, number 6 on your screen, doing an excellent job trying to run that low tempo.
Coach Kier was talking with us a little bit earlier in the week, Keely, talking about how much better they've been serving recently, and that's obviously been something that you're trying to work on throughout the course of an entire season. Another big left-handed attack and swing, this time Mia Moore.
Second attempt in the rally. I love that the ball went right back to her. Looks like Coach Collier is using her challenge to question if the ball was out, but it was originally called in.
Georgia Tech is challenging that the ball was out.
Keely, you've got challenges for a reason. Why not use them early?
And Coach Collier, I will never bet against her. She rarely uses it a lot. You see coaches use it as like a timeout, but Coach Collier goes with her vision on what she sees.
See the block attempt here from Georgia Tech on the swing from Mia Moore.
This is probably your better angle. So Mia Moore coming up inside of Pierce, number 1 blocker for Georgia Tech. It looks like there was blue, so of the court between the ball and the white of the line. Look at that, good video work.
So first challenge here, 6 points into tonight's match.
This would be reversed. Unless the video down there isn't as clear. Oh, was it? Yeah, no foot, no shoulder. You're looking at Abby Lee, the right back defender, but Coach Collier, from her view
right
down the line, yeah, that's out.
So we'll see how this result comes from the officials here tonight. Here comes the call.
The call is reversed. The ball was out.
So an overturn of the call. The ball was out of play, and it's a 4-2 lead now for Georgia Tech. Michelle Collier, very successful challenge.
Yeah, what she sees goes. But the same with Coach Kier, 2 players that have turned into coaches, incredible volleyball players, now coaches.
Mambu had the free ball over the net. Lee, as we'll get another big swing from Mambu. Mimu Mambu is in a rhythm early here.
You see Mambu working more toward the line. This one going to that middle back, staying away from Gildon, not going cross court, dropping that one over the block.
Abby Lee will serve. Tough serve handled there by Clemson. The play of Abby Lee lately has been really impressive for Georgia Tech. She didn't debut until October 24th, so late in the season for Abby Lee to get into a rhythm and get her chance to play some college volleyball here.
Yes, Abby Lee is the backup setter. Very good in her playing days, a local Atlanta kid from Alpharetta, doing a good job stepping in as a serving specialist.
McGrath, here's Moore again. This shot is long. You can see the focal point here early for Clemson. They want to get Mia Moore in a rhythm.
Correct, that was her third attempt on the swing, trying to look for hands, but Abby Lee on that service line is going for another run.
Serve long this time from Abby Lee, and that'll get served back to Clemson. That's the first service error of the match for the Yellow Jackets.
That was a good run, Abby Lee. She's tapping her chest like, my bad on the miss serve, but that was a 5-point run. Nice job.
Yeah, you'll take that for sure as we get a look at Claire Luma, who's in to serve here for Clemson. Mambu went with the soft touch that time, but it was out of play. And it's going to be a point for Clemson. They'll hold on to serve.
Mimi Mambu, number 12 on your screen, a freshman, the kill leader for Georgia Tech, had a right idea trying to work the line because number 6 for Clemson, that's the setter playing up the line.
Pierce was denied at the net. Here's Mambu with the big swing that goes into the net. 3 straight points here from Clemson, and they're back in it.
So you see Georgia Tech in a 2-hitter rotation. So if Pierce was out of the offense, Mambu was the option. You can also use Fyodorovic or Despania in the back row if you get a pass.
Luma serves this one into the net, an error for Clemson. And that'll give serve back to the Yellow Jackets.
For Clemson, Mia Moore is still in your front rows. You have number 22 down at the net, a strong option, and Mia McGrath to the outside.
On a slide this time from Clemson, kept alive. We'll see Mia Moore swing once more, blocked by the middles of Tech. Nice cross-court shot that time from Mia McGrath.
Oh, McGrath had 4 kills to that same corner, and she took that to the scouting report. Coach Collier knows that was her shot. Mia Moore's like, I found it, I'm gonna keep going to get my kill to the corner.
And another error here from Clemson. When they're starting to put together a rally, that service line can giveth and taketh away. And it takes away this time from the Tigers. Sophia Belez, the senior from Columbia, at the service line here for the Jackets.
Wow.
Big block at the net from Georgia Tech. Mia Moore has this one dug out by Belez. Two-handed push. Net violation called here against Georgia Tech. Point for Clemson.
You had McKenna Gildon, the libero for Clemson, picked up the rally-saving dig. Hard shot, great job.
Long, deep serve.
Right there.
Fyodorovic. Dug out there by Clemson. Here's a big swing in the middle for Garibaldi. And a kill. Bianca Garibaldi, sophomore from Argentina, with the kill.
You saw both Garibaldi and Pierce going for the same tip shot, recognizing open court because Gildon, the libero for Clemson, sitting deep, digging the hard shot.
Here's an ace. Suarez gets it to roll over the tape. What a serve.
When setter Suarez, number 13, going back to serves on the service line, that means Noemi Despaigne is up in the front row for a 3-hitter look for Georgia Tech.
Eloise Suarez at the line once more. Here's Mia McGrath, and she comes up with the kill.
JJ, how fun is this? You have senior McGrath getting 2 in the row to the same spot. When she found her spot, never looked back, knows where the kill shot is, going for it again.
McGrath will now serve. Senior from Illinois. Takes a big swing here. Garibaldi of Tech. Despaigne goes off the hands.
Noemi Despaigne, number 21, is a outside player, plays on the left side, very comfortable, but now it runs on the right side, getting in the mode on both sides, loves to work the hands.
She was a setter growing up in Italy, 5 matches this season with 10+ kills. But an impressive player for the Yellow Jackets. Mambu kept alive by Clemson. This touch goes out of play, and here's a point for the Tigers.
Wow, you have McKenna Gildon, libero for Clemson, just all over the place. Nice job getting some good rotation. Kate Hansen on the service line.
6'3" out of Weatherford, Texas. Hansen is a Texas Tech transfer. Now wearing the purple and orange for the Tigers. Here's a nice shot from Georgia Tech. Mambu comes through again.
Mambu will find a way to put the ball down. You have 4 kills on 8 swings. Getting in her rhythm leads the Georgia Tech squad offensively.
Garibaldi at the service line. And a quick dump this time from Sant. Sant keeps it alive. And this shot is long. Gordon tried to get it into play, but it's a Tech point.
You saw Garibaldi coming in and taking the set. Number 5 is the middle on the service line, trying to put all the plays together.
Ooh, that's a nice slide there from from Clemson. As Okur gets it to land.
Clemson runs that fast offense, so the block not only can't get a pure setup, you cannot close with the speed off that slide attack behind the setter.
Okur, the transfer from Michigan State, playing here for Clemson. Back set this time in a major swing. Despaigne gets it to go. And a big time kill to make it 15-10 here in early lead over Clemson here. And it's Eloise Suarez that has been impressive so far this season for the Yellow Jackets. Look at her numbers.
Well, you see Suarez running that one-setter offense this year for Georgia Tech. Done an excellent job with leadership.
It's been fun to watch as she has gotten better, a part of the all-freshman team in the ACC a few seasons ago, now in her junior season, and a leader for this Yellow Jackets bunch.
Just a little out of rotation on that overlap. Ms. Hughes all on it.
It happens to everybody from time to time. Out of the break, and it'll give serve back Clemson's way.
JJ, what I would love to see right now, that's libero Belez. Stick a pass, but the offense off a slide attack with Pierce for Georgia Tech, it would be great behind the setter.
Claire Luma at the service line. Serve goes long. Fiodorovic. And what a play here from Georgia Tech.
Eloise Suarez making that look easy on the setter dump behind her head, putting it down fast. Sticking the pass.
With the dig and then the backhanded dump that time from Suarez. And there's Mia Moore right down the middle. Left-handed swing, that's what Clemson's looking for.
You know, baseball is like batting 1,000, right?
Yeah.
So Mia Moore up the gut, up that middle, it's called a 2-ball. It's an automatic kill. She gets a kill every single time Clemson runs that play.
It's a play they want to feature more often as we see Pierce on a slide, able to go off the hands of Clemson. How about the athleticism there from Deandra Pierce?
That's the play I was looking for, that last one on that slam tip. Slide attack, Georgia Tech runs it so smoothly.
Velez with the service error. Back over to Clemson. Addie Raines out of Yorktown, Indiana, is in to serve here. Fyodorovic with the kill.
Anya Fyodorovic in stride because of the set pop out of the hands of Suarez. Beautifully done inside. Watch how smooth that comes out of the hands. Inside the block, great vision going hard cross court.
What a kill. Impressive effort there as Fyodorovic, one of the leaders of this Georgia Tech team. Another big swing from Despagna. There's the kill Georgia Tech was looking for.
We mentioned Despagna plays as a left side hitter, but had to fill in on the right side. Looks like she's comfortable. When she's comfortable, number 21, Despagna, is smooth, has the arm, has the power.
As we see Clemson call timeout here, Georgia Tech's got to be pleased as we'll get another look at the swing from Despagna. Georgia Tech's got to be pleased with the start tonight compared to Wednesday. Let's remind folks, Keely, in that first set on Wednesday night, it was all Clemson early before Georgia Tech had to rally and win that first set.
In the first set, Clemson was up 9-3, and then Georgia Tech started siding out over 84%. So that was a solid pass adjustment, sticking the pass, and multiple hitters got involved in the offense. Currently, setter Eloise Suarez is running a fantastic offensive show, mixing up the sets.
And this has got to feel better for Georgia Tech to not have to come from behind as early, being off to this impressive start here in the match today.
And you know what also feels good is that they're not stuck in Syracuse.
Yes. Some of the travel pains, yes, that they have been through. That's what happens for Georgia Tech when you've got 5 straight road matches. 19 days since they were last here. Their last home match was against Stanford. And it's been the freshmen that have been doing so much of the action here for Georgia Tech. The 3 players in double-digit kills for the Yellow Jackets against Clemson earlier this week. All of them were freshmen.
It's pretty hopeful and exciting for fans to watch. You got 21, Noemi Despagna giving a high five to the other freshman, Fyodorovic.
It's a good group to build around for the years to come here on the flats. Sant, this time wanting to set up Hansen on a slide.
JJ, question for you. With how fast that is going, how do you set up the block when you're arriving at the same time? How pretty is this? Clemson keeping it so low, the set's not even higher than the antenna, going right from Sant to Hansen.
That's what the coaches are asking. How do we get this quicker to set up our defense as this serve is long? And it goes back Georgia Tech's way. The Yellow Jackets 5 away from winning this first set.
You see Clemson take a lot of risks trying to get Georgia Tech deep in the serve receive, missing a few long in this first set.
Serving is a very big, important part of the game, and Clemson has had their fair share of errors so far. How about this free ball over the net? Garibaldi knew what to do with it.
Garibaldi so smooth, all talk right there. Coming up, letting her teammates know, hey, I got this overpass. Good vision, getting her feet back first on it. High snap, delivery down.
Gordon with the big time kill. Kaya Gordon, a dynamic player to watch in orange.
JJ, Gordon was not a starter, so Kennedy Wagner went out with the season-ending injury. Gordon fills in and getting confident. Love how fast she can hit.
Wagner injured back on October 3rd in a match at Pittsburgh, and Gordon has taken advantage more of the playing time. A transfer from Navarro College. We talked with Coach Keir a little bit earlier in the week. She doesn't typically go after the junior college to D1 jump in terms of recruiting the transfer portal, but when she turned on the tape, Kaya Gordon just popped and knew that was a player she wanted to go after.
As you see her elevate, even trying to use the block on that swing.
This time jump on the Yellow Jacket side, and Clemson's going to hold on to it. In this day and age in volleyball, Keely, you can find players from anywhere, all parts of the country, the world, with so many of these international stars also coming over and playing in the college game.
Yeah, it's pretty fun with Georgia Tech's roster. Learning English, getting better, and also learning a couple more languages around you.
Yeah, I mean, beyond just the volleyball side of things, that's a good point. So many of these players having to learn a new language to find the best ways to effectively communicate. Clemson's now up to 5 service errors in this first set. Lee at the line here serving for Tech. Soft touch from Moore. We've seen the big swings. That one a little bit easier from Mia Moore, and it threw Georgia Tech off.
I hit a little giggle right there because it works every time. And Mia Moore up the gut, that middle part of the court. This one thrown in a roll shot and still getting a kill, 22. Give me some more of that.
6-point advantage here for Georgia Tech. Luma at the line serving for Clemson. And now we've got set point here for the Yellow Jackets.
You got Mia Moore in your front row. She's got the strongest arm of these 3 attackers. If Sant gets a ball, I'm thinking the ball's going to be set to the right side.
Serve is in the air, it's out of play. And prolong this first set as Clemson gets an extra chance here. Set point still for the Yellow Jackets, but now the serve goes to McKenna Gildon. And slammed at the net that time by Clemson. Mia McGrath is there. She had a free ball and knew what to do with it.
That was good serve, a straight line shot by libero Gildon.
See what Tech looks to do here. Fiodorovic with the kill. And that will win the first set for Georgia Tech. Back in same opponent, back to back. I found it interesting talking with Coach Keir a little bit earlier in the week, Keeley. They played North Carolina A&T in a little home-and-home setup earlier in the season to kind of help them understand what it would be like to play the same opponent twice in a row.
You know, and you see Clemson actually make the right adjustments, trying to get kills to the deep corner. It's not so much Clemson's offense is struggling right now, but it's stopping this Georgia Tech offense, hitting .414 currently.
Georgia Tech hit .394 in Wednesday's match as a whole, so off to an even better start. Your point there, Keeley.
Hansen automatic behind the setter off of 1 foot, so that was an inside slide. Setter Sant, number 6 on your screen, knows where she's getting kills.
And that's going to be a point to Clemson. There was no touch, according to the officials. We've already seen Michelle Collier with a successful challenge. We saw her on the sideline there thinking about it, contemplating it, but ultimately, point will stand. Clemson continues to serve with Hansen at the line. Mambu with the big kill. The freshman steps up and comes through.
The control of the wrist out of Suarez. It was a bullet coming at her on the pass. Puts a beautiful delivery in that set for Mambu to come inside the block.
Now we see Garibaldi at the service line. Here's a setup for Despania. And a point for Clemson. Despania's feet got tangled.
That was 2 blocks in a row. You have Gordon Niloquer 10 on your screen, getting the close as the middle blocker, but both of those orange arms were penetrated on the Georgia Tech side.
Despania handles the serve. Suarez will set up Mambu, blocked at the net by Clemson. Kept alive as Sant wants to set up Gordon.
Woo.
Good effort from Mambu this time. Mia Moore denied at the net by Tech. Moore again. Despania this time going long. That's out of play, but it was touched by Clemson, so it's a point for Tech.
That was the right call. 21 Despania knew it when she took the swing. The line judge called it. There is no argument from the side of the Clemson block.
Fighting for those hands on the big swings from Despaigne. Here's Abby Lee at the line to serve. Gordon, big swing.
Make no doubt about it. Kaya Gordon, 8 running off, gets up on the jump. Watch this explosion. Last 2 steps, elevation for the tip shot line.
Explosion's just the perfect word. I mean, she was flying across the screen there and able to come up with a big play for Clemson. 4-3, the Clemson lead here in the second set. Luma serves. Suarez over to Pierce. Back to Mambu, and Mambu mistimed her jump.
Nice scramble play to come through. If you're Clemson, trying to creep back in this set, as they are up, like, let me look at the score real fast. You're trying to creep back in the match. Doing an excellent job fighting for the scrambles.
Luma, the sophomore from Franklin, Wisconsin. Gets an ace, it rolls off the tape. Claire Luma with the great serve, her 5th of the season.
Coach Kier talks about the service game, what they work on at Clemson, trying to go as low as you can to the net to catch those friendly bounces.
Luma serving again. Pierce had a joust at the net with Okur. Big swing from Mambu. As Gordon keeps it alive, over to McGrath. Mambu soft touch. Clemson has doubled up Georgia Tech here in this second set. What a big rally, and it's denied at the net by McGrath.
That point had it all. Finishing with a slide transition attack with Pierce. Number 1, the senior on the team. Great job fighting strong on for both teams in that rally.
Pierce on the slide, McGrath on the block, but it went out of play. So Tech gets the serve. Moore is denied at the net. Pierce again.
Showing some leadership and want to. Pierce, number 1, trying to make that block close and got it with extra penetration.
Deandra Pierce from Austin, Texas, and a Texas Longhorns transfer, making big plays here for the Yellow Jackets. Here's a point for Clemson as they stop that mini run from Tech.
JJ, what was fantastic about changing for Mia McGrath, she hit cross court on the previous swing, and then this one changing it up line, making the middle back guess where she's going.
Woo, good effort here from Georgia Tech, but they're not going to be able to return it over as we see Belez and Despaigne putting their bodies on the line, trying to track down that volleyball.
Georgia Tech dealing with 3 major injuries this season. There could be 4. we know about 3 coming through. They're not wanting Noemi Despaigne go down at all.
Putting the body on the line. That'll fire you up. Fiodorovic is denied. Nice defensive play made this time by Clemson. Looking much better and composed here in the second set.
You see Clemson today doing a much better job with full arm penetration on Georgia Tech side. Mia Moore took that line shot with authority.
Service error here for Tech, or excuse me, for Clemson to give Tech the point. They're back within 3.
For Georgia Tech, Garibaldi's back in your front row. Pierce has done a good job, but Garibaldi gets set a little more in transition.
Fiodorovic, big swing, big kill.
Fiodorovic playing like an upperclassman. She's a freshman, so if you're Georgia Tech, you fans, you gotta lock in on what 27 is doing, and heck, number 5, she's a sophomore.
Here's a long swing from Kate Hansen. Clemson tried to argue a touch. No touch called, and it's a point for Georgia Tech.
Aloisi Suarez against Mia McGrath. I'm thinking if Sant gets a pass, it's a good option.
Velez. And there's a point for Clemson.
Mia McGrath, that was a pass, a give and go. She was passed to attack, given high fives, coming through. 5 kills, hitting 500 so far in this match.
The serve here is long from Clemson. Addie Raines misfires.
You look across the net, you have McGrath and Hansen. The slide attack for Hansen, if Clemson can stick a pass, is automatic behind the setter off of 1 foot.
Suarez serves. McGrath with the big swing off the hands of Tech. And that's the point Clemson needed.
I'm thinking Sant, the setter, feels McGrath hitting now 5:45 of the night, going to her Gilda sticking passes for her team.
If you remember, after the first set, Georgia Tech was hitting 415. They're now under 280 in that department as Clemson's evening things out. Much more competitive second set here from Clemson.
You're right, I think Mia McGrath, 6 kills, Gordon 4. That stabilizes everything on the side of the Clemson offense, getting some rhythm on the outside.
Fiodorovic at the line to serve. On a slide this time, Hansen puts it away.
Automatic, JJ. That sucker's automatic behind the setter off of 1 foot. And Clemson runs it probably the lowest we see in ACC volleyball.
So Kate Hansen serves after coming up with the slide kill. Fiodorovic handles. Garibaldi with the kill.
Coach Collier encourages setter Suarez to take risks, coming off the net, still forcing it back to Garibaldi for that tip kill.
(12-11) the Clemson advantage. And Mambu comes up with the denial. Mimi Mambu ties this second set at 12.
That was extra hang time on that block, going one-on-one solo. Mambu, again, another freshman, but plays like an upperclassman.
Georgia Tech has won 17 consecutive matches against these Clemson Tigers. It hasn't been since 2015 that Clemson was able to knock off Georgia Tech, and they're trying to make sure that doesn't happen tonight as Georgia Tech has the lead in the second set.
I do believe 21 Despania learned a little English talking through that net on that block.
Big time play there from Despania. McGrath from the back row. Mambu denied at the net.
JJ, you got a killer block on one end, and then right after that, Clemson comes through with that extra block penetration. Nilo Kerr getting the close.
Michigan State transfer by way of Turkey. Nilo Kerr met the big play. Mambu with the kill. Mimi Mambu.
Remember how setter Suarez slam tipped the ball tight. Now she changed her game. Any tight ball with her fingertip extended, going out, creating the seam in the block for her hitter.
Georgia Tech by 1 here in this second set. After winning the first set 25-19. Gordon with the big swing into the net. Point for Georgia Tech. They've got the 15-13 lead here in the second set. Yellow Jackets finding their footing here in O'Keefe Gymnasium. In the ACC, 48th in the RPI rankings. And earlier this week in Charlie Cream's ESPN bracketology, Georgia Tech, one of the last 4 teams into the field. 64 teams make the NCAA tournament, 31 at-large bids, and Georgia Tech trying to claim one of those. But Clemson trying to pull off a big win here as we see Mia Moore come through with the big kill.
3 kills in a row for Mia Moore up the middle of the net. I love that play for Clemson. All smiles right there by Moore, knowing she loves it too.
So back within 1. Free ball over the net. Remains in play. McGrath going for the cross-court kill. Here's Mambu with the touch. Gildon keeps it alive. Mia Moore with the left swing. Mambu again off the hands. What a rally we've got. And for Clemson, it's Mia Moore who once again comes through to tie it at 15. As we take a look at the coaching staff for the Clemson Tigers and their recap so far on the season. Again, looking for their 5th win in ACC play, but that is a young and up-and-coming coaching staff. And Keeley, Clemson has been a fun team to watch this season.
They have. You see, they've dealt with a lot of injuries. Kennedy Wagner going out. The outside hitter, 40% of their offense came there. But their defense has been stepping up. You got Mia Moore on the block setup. Nilo Kerr with the close. Much better blocking day for this Clemson defense.
So they've got the lead back. I mean, the second set has gone back and forth. And now Clemson with the 1-point lead. Tigers have Claire Luma at the service line. Velez handles the serve. Mambu comes up with the kill. Mimi Mambu coming through. That's her 7th kill of the match.
Right there, good job Mambu, learning the mix-up at ACC Volleyball. That's improved throughout her game this freshman season.
Free ball put away that time. Fiodorovic. What a swing that time. And that will force a timeout. Fiodorovic is someone that Georgia Tech likes to go through. Look at this replay, Keeley.
Fiodorovic getting her feet there, good vision, taking open court to the deep spot. See, teammates are loving it.
Clemson defensively, the top of the conference there in total digs and digs per set. Sant this time sets up Moore, and she's denied by Pierce. Deandra Pierce had something to say about it.
Pierce was like, do it again, do it again. Recognized Mia Moore was coming up the middle. The ball was a little underset for the flow. Pierce clamping all that.
Kept alive here from Clemson. On the slide, here's Pierce. Luma handles. McGrath with the swing. And there's a point for Clemson.
Nilo Kerr ran to the benches, the middle blocker for Clemson heading off the court right now. Everybody's checking in, but that was a rally-saving play going into the bench.
Again, both these teams putting their bodies on the line. We're not questioning the effort that we're seeing tonight from either of these teams. So we see Fiodorovic come through with the kill.
You have setter Suarez giving a nice hang time set right at the antenna. Watch how it hovers. Right there, Fiodorovic in her flow, sees the block, goes through the seam of the high hands.
Back row attack this time from Mia Moore, and Keeley right down the middle.
That's right, and that was a little higher of a set, so Sant made a great adjustment going a little higher. Mia Moore high fives because she knows she's in her flow.
You're so wise in this game of volleyball, Keeley, and once again we see right down the middle the go-to play for Clemson, and it's been working.
Oh, it's automatic. I love it. I call a lot of Clemson matches as well as Georgia Tech, so seeing their offense click, it's just pretty on each side.
20-18, the advantage here for the Yellow Jackets. A serving violation called against Suarez.
On a serve, you're allowed to contact the ball behind the line and land in the court, but if any part of your foot touches the line on the jump, it's called a violation.
So they caught Suarez for that one. And it gives serve back to the Tigers. Out of play here, and we're tied. Clemson with back-to-back points, tying the second set at 20.
If you're Georgia Tech, it's go time. You're in a three-hitter situation. Anya Fyodorovic on the right side has been the go-to when the game's on the line.
Michelle Collier wants to call timeout. Go over.
This set's gone to Fyodorovic, so you're looking for 27 to possibly get the set.
McGrath serves for Clemson. Fyodorovic back over the net. Big swing, Garibaldi.
JJ, it's like a 1-2 punch. You got Fyodorovic in serve receive, getting the attempt, and then number 5, Garibaldi in transition to finish it off. Good talk, way to let your setter know you were up, Garibaldi.
Impressive work here in the second set. Garibaldi back-to-back kills.
That's a scouted shot. So Garibaldi took a mental note from Wednesday. It's like, oh, I'm gonna apply that today. Transition, easy up, tip kill over the block.
22-20 as Fyodorovic serves. And there's an ace. Big time ace this time. And Clemson will call timeouts. They can feel the momentum shifting over to Georgia Tech side. Tell us about the serve, Keely.
Fyodorovic, so clutch. So remember, she came through, got that attempt, all jumping right there. A huge point turnaround. Fyodorovic, Georgia Tech fans happy you are wearing a Yellow Jacket uniform.
It's exciting faces over there in the huddle for Georgia Tech. As again, this is a team that right now is right on the NCAA tournament bubble. They've got to do everything in their power to the Yellow Jackets to keep stacking wins. I mean, it's a team that really wants to continue the season and get a chance to play in the NCAA tournament.
That's right, fighting hard as you saw Pinheiro, Coach Pinheiro coming through, fighting to get to postseason. Georgia Tech is the bubble team, so you have to prove at the end of the year that with this 3 freshman starting group, we're much better and can do some damage. And I'm thinking you're showing it in these last 2 matches.
Every season since 2020, Georgia Tech has been a part of the NCAA tournament. They want to keep this streak alive and find a way to hear their name called. Again, as one of the at-large bids. 2 points away from winning the second set. Meanwhile, on the other side of the net, it's a Clemson team who's just looking to win a set. They were swept by Georgia Tech on Wednesday. We'll see how Clemson comes out of this timeout.
I've watched Clemson all season long. There's definitely improvement. Setter Sance running a faster offense. It's just making everything work and click in the same set.
Fyodorovic on her way to a possible double-double with 6 kills and 7 digs. Espana, long, but was touched. Touched by Clemson, point for Georgia Tech.
Coach Kier using her challenge, asking the block. They were adamant that no blocker touched the ball.
So a challenge here from Clemson.
Clemson is challenging that there was not a touch on the play.
So we hear from the officials. And again, this is such a big point in the set, Keely. Here's the swing from Espana.
To me, JJ, this is the easiest call to use your challenge, is just asking players on the block, did you touch it or not? You don't lie to your coach, otherwise you'll be running in practice.
So that's Hansen and Gordon on defense.
And it looks like the ball is trying to cross the seam between the right hand of Gordon and the left hand of Hansen. But I'm not seeing finger motion. What about you?
It's so tough and close to call. I do not envy any of the officials and the decisions they have to make. But again, some good shots here from our crew.
It would be the left hand of Hansen, but Hansen was one of the first players to turn and say, "Coach, I did not touch that ball." You see her fingers finishing forward, but that's a forward motion, but I don't see any backward movement with the fingers at the ball contact as it's crossing her hands.
Clear and conclusive evidence is what these officials are looking for. And Keely, I don't know if you can tell that there's any clear evidence in order to overturn this.
To me, it looks confirmed, so it looks like there is evidence, but if there's no way that it will be reversed. The most it can do is stand, it's inconclusive. I'm thinking Clemson's gonna walk home with this point.
Let's hear it.
On the reverse.
The call is reversed. There was no touch.
So no touch on the call.
That's what I meant. You know, it's one of those things I didn't mean. Clemson was gonna get the point.
Yes.
I just said it incorrectly.
Reversal played out, and Clemson gets the point. And that's huge, Keely, because it would have been the 24th point for Georgia Tech, and it would have been set point for the Yellow Jackets. Now Clemson gets a little extra life. Despagna sets up Garibaldi. Wow! A walking highlight. Bianca Garibaldi.
Yeah, Garibaldi automatic in transition on the service line. Gordon has been the go-to pattern in this rotation.
So set point here for the Yellow Jackets. Missed time jump from Clemson, and that will be a set victory for Georgia Tech.
It's all about passing right now for Clemson.
So the third set here is Georgia Tech swept Clemson in 3 sets on Wednesday. Tech will have first serve here tonight as we see the left-handed shot this time from Hansen. On the slide that time, Keely, and she went across her body with the left hand.
Made the save. When a smart player like Hansen knows where the open court will figure out a way, left-handed or right-handed, to get it there.
Now Hansen serves, as Velez handles. Garibaldi comes through, but it was wide.
That ball was almost to the foot of defender Hansen on it. Garibaldi wants that one back.
So Hansen again serves. Clemson off to a 2-0 start in this third set. Raines setting now for the Tigers. And here's a point for Clemson. They score the first 3 points of this third set.
Coach Kier talks about Gordon, the elevation in her video. She's like, whoa, she can do that there. She can hit it. An ACC ball off the hands.
Ooh. Mambu with the big swing. Sant sets up Gordon. Mambu again, diving effort from Raines. Here's a back row attack from McGrath. Despagna gives Tech their first point of the third set.
We highlighted her between sets, but Eloise Suarez reversing. Watch how low she has to go to get that on her hands. Laying out to her knees, putting a dish set for Despagna to finish.
So 3-1 the Clemson advantage as we see Garibaldi at the line. Backhanded shot this time from Sant. And here's a point for Tech. They're back within 1.
You love to see the transition game with the middle. That's improved throughout the season. Pierce getting up, asking for it.
Deandra Pierce with the kill. Sant on the slide. Okur is denied, but it was out of play, so it's a point for Clemson.
JJ, it's the speed in which Clemson runs the set. It's so low off the setter's hands, not clearing the antenna, the block. How are you going to set up?
So Catherine Sant is serving here for Clemson. Pierce just got a swing. Here's a swing coming in for Kaya Gordon. And the outside hitter with a great play.
25 feet off the net, and setter Sant delivered a money ball. Watch this. Coming, laying out, going 25. That's right, on the dime for that kill.
Mambu with the big swing and kill.
This is really good news for Georgia Tech. You get the middles involved in your offense. You got Mambu producing offense. If you're Clemson's block, you can't commit. You got to just read the game.
So Abby Lee will come in to serve here for Georgia Tech. And Abby Lee, a freshman, didn't play for the first time until late October. Has been getting much more action of late for this Yellow Jackets team. Clemson has doubled up Georgia Tech here early. And remember, Keeley, in the second set, Clemson had this very 6-3 lead before the Yellow Jackets rallied.
They did, and it started with sweet plays up the middle of the net by Mia Moore.
So Claire Luma serves. Sophomore from the state of Wisconsin. Velez handles. Pierce on a slide. And there's a point for Georgia Tech.
That was a taste of your own medicine. So Clemson's running a fast slide. You have Georgia Tech coming right back, going fast and low with Pierce.
Bilaleski serves. McGrath with the right hand. On the slide, here's Pierce. And it's Mia McGrath who denies it.
Mia McGrath did an excellent job staying in, recognizing where the set was fallen. Watch how she stays inside. The set's inside, good vision, good eye work back to the hitter as well.
Fjodorovic. Fjodorovic again. Big kill. Massive swing from Georgia Tech. Sonia Fjodorovic.
Fjodorovic, 27, got the kill, but Libero Velez on the service line. Huge dig to keep that transition.
Sophia Velez will serve. 7 digs on the match, and Velez couldn't quite get that dig as it was a big swing coming from Moore.
All Clemson fans right now was like, no, Moore, don't go off the court. As she takes her 3 rotations. That's so pretty down the line. Had a sliver to work with and produced a kill.
And again, when Mia Moore has been off the court, we've seen some runs made from Georgia Tech. We'll see if that continues. As Garibaldi looked like she was on a trampoline reaching up for that one.
Good hang time. Recognizes setter was in trouble, but not with that type of finesse. Putting it back for her middle is Suarez.
Suarez serves. McGrath on the swing and a block at the net.
Garibaldi does not take a play off. If there's an out-of-system ball, she will get the close as the middle blocker.
Tech back within 1. Diving effort from Gildon to keep it alive. Scramble mode here for Georgia Tech. And Fjodorovic with the kill. Tied at 8 in this 3rd set. Big time swing.
If you're the NCAA and you're thinking about RPI, who should make the tournament, you've got to watch Georgia Tech and be like, when these 3 freshmen are on, they're on. You have Fjodorovic going through the seam on that kill.
It's a good young group to build around. Tech wanting to get NCAA tournament experience this year as we see Clemson stop the bleeding. Kate Hansen comes through with the kill.
I love that Coach Kier is encouraging her setter Sant to go fast. If there's 2 blockers, doesn't matter. The speed of Clemson's offense can cause that little collision.
Off the tape, it rolls over. Here's an ace for Mia McGrath.
These are good rotations. You got Mia McGrath, a good defender in the backcourt. Nice strong serve. Gordon's now in the front row for your offense.
Fyodorovic, dug out by Gildon. Kept alive. Tech's got to play it over. Suarez does just that. Kate Hansen comes through with the kill, and once again, Clemson's got a 3-point lead.
In college volleyball, all you have to do is make a sign language C to use your challenge. Coach Kier was holding off to make sure Clemson won the point, and they did with Hans. No need to call a net violation. We got Hans on the slide.
Despania.
Despania in her groove. I think it's the hovering, when it just hovers and hangs at the antenna for an outside attack. The hitter knows exactly where to go. The setting game of Suarez, 13 to Despania, is hot.
Despania up to 6 kills tonight. Another swing from Despania, blocked at the net by Clemson. Here's Despania again, and it's a Clemson point. Gordon and Hansen were there.
No question, that was an arm wall. Hands completely over on the side for Georgia Tech. Gordon with the setup, Hansen with the perfect close for that block.
Kate Hansen serves. There's a point for Clemson. A 4-point advantage for the Tigers, and Georgia Tech calls time. This has been one of the largest leads that we've seen tonight for Clemson. Georgia Tech middle blocker, who's on a serving roll right now, has been fun to watch tonight, Keeley.
Kate Hansen, her front row game has been efficient. 6 kills, hitting 500. I love that fast attack Clemson's going with in this third set.
Mambu comes through. Mimi Mambu, 9th kill of the match for the freshman.
Great timeout to remind your players, Coach Collier, where shots were open. Mambu with precision to that deep corner.
Missed time jump this time from Okur. And there's a point for Georgia Tech.
That's bound to happen, JJ, when you're trying to push speed. I'm thinking on this set, Gordon will be getting the attempt.
Garibaldi serves. Back row attack from Mia McGrath. And that's a point for Georgia Tech. The shot was long.
Mia Moore was waiting for it, had the right idea. Georgia Tech, I don't even think we're ready for that, thinking the same thing I was thinking, that Gordon was gonna get the set.
Well, and how often do we see this? Out of a timeout, Georgia Tech was down 4 as we see a beautiful ace from Fyodorovic. That's now 4 straight points. Out of a timeout, a rally able to build.
Huge comeback, so it started with Garibaldi, number 5 on the service line, but really did start with the efficient first swing by Mambu. This one kissing that back line.
Garibaldi with the ace of rally as of late here from Georgia Tech to tie it up. Garibaldi continues to serve. And there is an error at the line. The timeout jinx, if you want to call it, works in favor of Clemson as they're able to get served back.
And the good news for Clemson is that Mia Moore is back in your front row for that block and attack.
So Sant serves. Despania with the big swing. Moore gets it back over. Mambu. Here's Gordon for Clemson. As Georgia Tech sets up Mambu, and it's dug out by McGrath. Gordon comes through with the strong kill. Kaya Gordon.
You have Mia Moore picking up 2 digs that I thought were going down, and she's like, not on my watch. Gordon, watch that. Good set from off the court is Sant for the kill with Gordon.
Mambu, cross court kill, Mimi Mambu. She's now in double digits her 10th kill of the match.
I really don't know how she does it. Mambu comes under her ball, hits the snap from behind her head. This one going to the sideline. Great kill.
Abby Lee comes in to serve. Tech down by 1. Clemson looking to win their first set tonight. Not if Georgia Tech has something to say about it. Pierce with the block.
Pierce is a senior, that middle blocker. She recognizes at this point in the match, Mia Moore was going to get the ball. That was an excellent close by Pierce.
It was a dynamic blocking front from Georgia Tech. A senior and a freshman come together in Pierce and Mambu. Soft touch from O'Kerr, and that's a point for Clemson.
Nice changeup. You have freshman Abby Lee, a serving specialist in this rotation, coming in set back on her heels. So O'Kerr 10 for the middle, just throws in a little tip shot. Watch the defender sitting back a little bit, shoulders came up. That's a great time to throw in a tip.
(16-15) the Clemson lead here in the third set. Luma at the line. Sant sets up Moore. Mia Moore with a remarkable kill down the line, and it's a point for Clemson.
Mia Moore needs inches. That's all she needs to hit a power line shot right there. Left-handed swing. Didn't have a much, but turned it back, catching Velez with the shoulder.
2-point advantage for Clemson. Mambu off the hands, point for Georgia Tech.
You had Fiodorovic looking like she was gonna set long, and then last second hits the turn on that beautiful set. Great job using the hands as Mambu on that attack.
Laura Biatleski serves. McGrath. Here's Fiodorovic. There's a point for Georgia Tech, and we're tied once again.
Fiodorovic, 27, has impressive hand control. That ball was drifting at her and snapped it to the corner. Yes, you did.
A tightly contested third set as neither team can really create distance, can create separation. Mia Moore with the kill. Number 22 in orange, making big plays for the Tigers. That's her 9th kill of the match.
It's pretty funny. Georgia Tech is like, what answer do we have? Mia Moore can hit sharp cross, hits line. So many answers. They're just hoping she gets off the court in her rotations.
There's a point for Georgia Tech, and it's tied at 18.
Garibaldi's coming back to the front row for Georgia Tech. And one more rotation before Suarez goes back for a 3-hitter offense. What?
Mia Moore comes through.
Oh, there's too many languages on the side of Georgia Tech, but that's caliente. Mia Moore is hot right now, and setter Sant knew it. Automatic kills behind the setter. Watch the power. Coming through that seam, saw it, took it.
What a swing. And that's now 10 kills on the match for Mia Moore. She's in double digits. Fiodorovic.
JJ, the sign of a good team, an experienced team, is the bounce back. So you had Mia Moore get a crazy good kill. Did not phase 27. Fiodorovic on the outside. She comes back with another kill.
The Yellow Jackets are looking for their 10th win in ACC competition. Here's Kate Hansen on a slide, and she found the open court.
It's one of those things, Georgia Tech is like, stop that, stop that. Everything behind the setter for Clemson is going for a kill. Nice job getting up, Hansen.
So Mia McGrath will serve. And what a swing from Despania to tie it at 20.
Gosh, when Despania keeps that ball in front of her, she's got vision and power. Snapped on that pretty dang fast.
And Noemi Despania with the big kill.
Are you going to go slide attack with Hansen?
It's been working. We'll see if Clemson draws it up. Here's a back row swing from McGrath. That's the point they needed.
That's what I'm talking about. When Clemson's hot, it's either hot or cold, right? So when they're hot, this offense is so pretty to watch. You got McGrath able to communicate she was ready on that back row swing.
Mambu! Mimi Mambu with another kill.
Having fun, JJ. We got some good volleyball in front of us. Watch how Mambu gets this one in front of her. High snap, get it. She's like, Keely, I still kept it behind.
This has been a tightly contested third set. Garibaldi at the service line. Kaya Gordon keeps it alive. Mambu with the swing. They'll set up Gordon again. And there's a point for Clemson.
A great heads-up play. Neil Okur, was number 10, was stuck at the net. She had to turn and take the set. I think Gordon, number 8, with the finish, was just ready for it.
Getting into the late stages of this third set. Mambu with the kill. 13 kills tonight for Mimi Mambu.
Clemson's playing well, but it's the side-out game for Georgia Tech right now is efficient. I'm thinking Clemson is trying to swing toward Abby Lee, where 15 is on the court defensively. Watch Clemson take the shot there.
Tied at 22. Both teams with one timeout left here in this third set. As we see this shot long, it's a point for Tech, but we'll see Clemson challenge.
Obviously, the ball was out of bounds because it hit the feet of the official. This one will be challenged for the finger touch.
Clemson is challenging that the ball was in.
No, it was the touch. You saw Coach.
Kier,
I call her
yes.
Jackie. She's my friend. Coach Kier was challenging the touch of that, actually.
So we'll get a look. Again, it's Mia Moore swinging.
Yeah, Coach Kier made her fingers the hand signal for a touch. That's what she's actually challenging, not the in or out.
And there are 3 sets of hands worth watching on this replay, Keely. Because not only do you have Mambu and Pierce here at the net, but Velez a little bit further down the line.
JJ, you're looking to see if the left pinky of number 12, Mambu, touched the ball on the swing by Moore. I'm not seeing any motion, or it doesn't even scramble the video on her pinky finger.
There's another view down the net.
This is your best view right here. So Mambu's going up with her left hand. That's where the ball's crossing. You're going to see if there's any finger motion, and I'm not seeing it on this replay.
And it's such an important point this late in the third set. This will give one of these two teams their 23rd point in this third set. At the current moment, 23-22 in favor of Georgia Tech, but we'll see if that score flips.
Yeah, the question is, I think Moore was even trying to go high into the hands. To me, this call should be confirmed.
And from this angle, you can also see Velez, like we said, down the line, trying to get her hands out of the way. Here's the call.
The call is confirmed. Clemson loses their challenge.
So call confirmed, and it's a point for Tech.
The big play right there. Tech 2 points away from match point, but good news for Clemson. Mia Moore is in your front row.
And here comes the timeout as Clemson calls time for losing the challenge. So both teams had a chance to.
When you played, because you almost, when a coach gives you a scouting report, you almost want to like throw it in the trash, because in your brain you're like, I got this.
I just saw them 2 days ago. I know what to do. I don't need the scouting
and you're
report.
already mad about the things you didn't do as a player. So it's like, give me one practice, fix it, and then I'm going to apply it the next day.
That's right. So Abby Lee will serve. In the middle, there was Mia Moore. And there's a point. Still net violation called against Georgia Tech. They were trying to stop it.
Still, if everybody and their brother knows that Mia Moore is getting the ball, you can't stop number 22 up the middle of the net.
And now we'll see Georgia Tech take a timeout. No, do we see the challenge first here from Georgia Tech?
They might be challenging
Georgia
the net.
Tech is challenging that there was not a net on the play.
All right, we'll see the challenge here. This would be huge.
And it was obvious that the net was moving. So for Georgia Tech to lose the point, it's got to be an arm of the blocker. But for if the ball hits the net and it causes the bounce, yeah, 100%. Number 12 with her right arm, so Mimi Mambu on the block, catching the net on the fall.
So yeah, you got Pierce and Mambu jumping up into the action.
Call is confirmed. Georgia Tech loses their challenge.
So call confirmed. Now back into action we go. Tied at 23, it'll be Clemson serve.
How fun is this? You have a Georgia Tech in a two-hitter situation. If it's a good pass, they've been going with slide attack behind the setter with Pierce, but I'm thinking you gotta go Mambu to finish out if you're going to for Tech.
Luma is serving for Clemson. Mambu gets the point. It's set point here for Georgia Tech.
You and Mia Moore shaking off Coach Kier, said don't use your challenge. I did touch it. Coach Kier walking that one off, putting Georgia Tech at match point.
Bialeski at the line to serve. Sant sets up McGrath. Suarez. It's a win. No, a point for Clemson as they keep it alive.
A win for Clemson on that block. You have Okur coming all the way over. I thought the seam was going to be hit, but Okur's like, not on my watch. Watch the late delivery. Good finish on that block.
So tied at 24, win by 2. There's a point for Georgia Tech. You can feel the energy in this place.
Fiodorovic so steady in her game. You have Bozy coming in. Anna Bozy getting the start for the block, putting a bigger block in front of outside hitter.
First action of the night for Bozy, the senior. Match point for Georgia Tech. There's a winner for the Yellow Jackets.